Okay, so eventually I'm gonna start like a podcast. I'm thinking about getting back into cardio, and so whenever I go on a bike ride or a walk or anything like that, I'm thinking about doing a like cardio related podcast where I just kind of sit for however long. It might be 30 minutes, probably be 20, 30 minutes, and I just talk about things. One of the things I want to talk about is, and this might go right before that or this might take the place of, I just don't think I'm going to sit here for 20 minutes. But what I would like to talk about is what I would have done differently going into YouTube. I've been making YouTube videos since like 2018, roughly. Maybe 2016. So like 9 years, right? And eventually I've gotten to the point where I've got like 5,874 subscribers. And there's three things I want to tell you right off the bat. It's like super quick. One, make videos that you like about things that you like. And when I say that, it sounds simple, right? But it's like the trap that I fell in. Here, let me not talk about or generalize anybody. Let me just talk about what I fell into. When I first started making YouTube videos, I started off with food challenges because in my head I was like, hey, I gotta be good at something, and in order to get subscribers I gotta be the best at it. So what's something I could be the best at? At the time I was training for a bodybuilding competition. The one thing I wanted to do was be able to eat. I was 160 pounds at the time, and so I was just trying to brainstorm. Then I brainstormed my channel name and I did all that stuff. And when I first started, I was focused on the wrong thing. I was like, well, I need a channel banner. I needed the channel video. I need like I was focused on everything else I needed instead of rather than making videos. Now, granted, I pulled that thread really fast and I did everything all at once. I started making my first videos and I was taking a lot of action. I took a ton of action that led me to a bunch of good places. And then I was doing so much footwork. Like I kind of went the salesman like approach. Like I was in the military, so I went door to door in the dorm that I was in. I said, hey, watch my videos. Hey, watch my videos. Hey, watch my videos. And then I was in the chow hall. Like I'd be in the lines for lunch or breakfast, dinner. I'd be like, hey, watch my video. Hey, watch my video. I was so excited about it. I told everybody. And I mean, I think I got my like first 200 subscribers that way by probably telling 500 people, just bumping elbows with people, talking about them and helping them see the vision, I guess. And at the time, all I did was talk to the camera like I'm doing right now. And I literally went around, I had a camcorder, and I would do food challenges. I'd set up a camera, I'd talk to the camera, I'd eat some food, I'd go about it, and then I'd edit it. And they were like longer videos. And then I tried to like re-edit them, make them shorter. I was like, oh, these will make them so much better. And it took a lot of the personality out. And that surprised me because as I went, I started watching people like Roman Atwood. I started watching people with like Furious Pete, longer videos, longer vlogs. And I didn't realize that what I loved about him was the fact that like it's an uncut look into their life, pretty much. I started watching people like Casey Neistat, and that led to a whole thing where people were making mini movies. And so I let that draw me into the fact that I need to talk as little as possible to get the point across. I need to have the coolest cinematics to get big on YouTube. And then that led to the beastification of YouTube. You know, the oversaturated, over-edited, produced videos from Mr. Beast. And now I feel like we're coming back full circle back to real conversations and real talks. And this is that. So one, when I say make videos you like, I don't mean go make videos about what people are watching. Like, oh, I see all these videos, so people must like that. Or this is the best thing. Like, people do it with businesses. They're like, oh, the oil business is the business to get into right now. No, the business to get into is whatever you have a passion for and whatever you're knowledgeable about. And that could be anything. Like, you can go become knowledgeable about whatever you want, but it's going to take like a learning period, and you're going to have to dedicate time to it. And you're not going to want to dedicate time to something you don't enjoy. So that's why you have to find something you like. I like real estate. I educated myself a little bit about it, and I got into it, and I've kind of taken a step back, but I was able to buy a couple different houses and sell one, pay it off, buy another one, and kind of get into some of this stuff. I don't talk about that a lot. Looking to get back into that kind of side hustle stuff, but I've just been really focusing on school, family, getting back into YouTube, the gym. I've had like enough other things where I've needed that like mental break. The other thing is, if you're not making videos you like, say you do get big. now you're stuck in a hole doing something you don't want to do just to get by and make money and whatever else, and you're just miserable. Now you're at a job that you don't like, right? Say you don't blow up. Now it's even worse because now you're not making money. You're going out of pocket for something that makes you kind of miserable. And then, you know, you're going to give up. You're going to quit eventually. And then it's just not sustainable. YouTube and video making in general, it's a lonely place, man. Like the gym, you've got other people. You've got a place where everybody goes to go get stronger and change their bodies and make things happen, right? YouTube, you don't have that. You got like your living room or your office or your studio or whatever you have, right? You got that, and you're thinking of your videos, you're planning your videos, you go make your videos, you go shoot your videos, and it's you. Maybe you got a loved one or a family member or a friend that helps you record or whatever the situation is, but for the most part, you put those up and until people start commenting and engaging and doing that stuff, which can either come later, or in my case, there's a couple videos I got 15,000 views on and 1,500 likes on and got 2 comments. You know, so it's like, it's frustrating. And now I started making these fitness videos again, and I'm getting, 8 comments, but I'm only getting 70 views. And I'm getting 10 likes, So it's like different problems. And what I've noticed is it's the times where I'm putting in the least amount of effort, but my passion and enjoyment's the highest. Like I used to do a joke of the day, and I actually was getting so many views and so much engagement that I was getting paid like $100 to like $500 a month on Instagram. And like I got my followers up, I made that stuff happen, and it was awesome. But I was so burnt out from making videos, I just happened to accidentally find like a niche I could ride. But I just got burnt out and I stopped doing it. Like I enjoyed it, but having to like think about jokes, and I just got to the point where I went from being easy to like I thought that I had to make it hard. Then I stopped. And then now with the fitness content, I was literally doing the same thing accidentally on Instagram, where I would just record every single one of my videos or every single one of my like workouts. I would record my top set, my back down, and then one of every accessory. Now I do that with a microphone and have commentary. Like on Instagram, I just did literally just the lift and I put music over it. There was no talking. There was none of that. It was just me lifting. And then looking back on that, like, why do people care about that? You want to be able to talk and engage. Like that's what people care about. And that's also why I'm not making shorts out of these. That's why I just upload the videos and let them do what they're going to do. And the fact is, they're not really edited that much. I cut the beginning and the end, and that's it. There's no cuts in the middle. I let the video be what it needs to be. I just, I cut to the part where I'm talking at the beginning, and then at the end, I cut when I'm finished talking, and then I put all those clips together. It ends up being however long it is. Sometimes they're 15 minutes, sometimes they're 27 minutes. It really depends. And so that's been a wake-up call for me. And then seeing that like these regular videos that anybody could do, apparently they're doing very well on social media. And I didn't do it for that. Like I came into this with the mindset of, man, I miss making videos. I have all this camera equipment that I'm not using because I've been a photographer, videographer, filmmaker for, 8 years now. Been making YouTube videos for 9. Yeah, about 9 years. So say YouTube videos for 9 years, videography, filmmaking for 8, photography for 7, roughly in that. And so I've accumulated a lot of gear and a lot of stuff. And I'm like, man, I've got the Sony ZV-E1, the Sony ZV-E1F I'm not using at all. And I convinced myself to buy it. And I've got these DJI mics, I've got these tripods, I've got these lights, and I've got this stuff, like a lot of the stuff lives in the studio. And I haven't even been in the studio because I've been in school. But now I get to use this stuff when I go to the gym. And it's actually a really good feeling. And it's actually really fun. And I just got into this idea of like, why don't I just do more of what I want to do? Like, I created my first photo book. It's in my bag right next to me, but I won't bother showing you guys. Like, maybe I'll post a flip through later if somebody comments and says, hey, I'd love to see that, but no pressure. But I posted that, and I was just like, man, like, I have a statement piece that is titled something like, tomorrow never comes. And that's the truth. Like, all you ever have is this one stream, like constant stream of consciousness, right? Like, yeah, we close our eyes, we go to bed, we wake up, and that's tomorrow. But tomorrow doesn't exist. It's like, it's not like the days reset at 9 p.m. or 12 a.m. or no, it resets when you go to sleep, and then you wake up and then you get started. And so your days kind of, you build momentum and you lose momentum, you build momentum, and that's what a day is. But that doesn't constitute anything. Time is like time is a made up kind of like idea that helps everybody unite and communicate and get things done. Like, there's no weight bearing to 9 a.m. or 11 p.m. to the point that there's different time zones and there's different, there's a lot of complicated matters into it, right? So what I say about that is, what someone's timeline is doesn't have to be your timeline, and what somebody does on a daily basis doesn't have to be what you do. And everybody talks about, work hard and make a lot of money and pay things off and grind and all this other stuff, but at the end of the day, that's only cool if you enjoy what you do. It's easy to make these videos every day because I'm talking to the camera doing what I like, and I have this idea of fuck what people think, fuck what people say. It's part of my language, but like, screw what people think, do what you like to do. And so I changed from the photography stuff, which I love making the photography content, but it just takes so much out of me to post just to get not a lot of views most of the time. And I realize that I'm putting so much pressure on myself to make these videos that turn out, in my opinion, pretty good. Like, they're pretty professional looking, and if I would have kept that going and I'd have spent 2-3 years on it, I'd probably be at the subscriber count that I want. But I was like, man, like, that's only part of the picture. Now I'm making YouTube videos and I'm locked into the gym, and I'm able to encapsulate that, and I'm able to share these ideas and these principles. Like, today I got a haircut and I talked about how changing how you look can change your vision of yourself and help you make better decisions. Like, if you're overweight and you want to lose weight, and every time you look in the mirror all you see is a fat guy with a mullet, you're going to continue to be a fat guy with a mullet. But if one day you look in the mirror, you forget you cut your hair and you realize you have a buzz cut now, well, guess what? You're going to look in the mirror and now you're going to build a picture. That guy can be whoever you want it to be. Now, yeah, you can buzz your hair and be a fat guy with a buzz cut, but now that you've got that change, now you see those changes, now you can start to build that person into whoever you want to be. So now I get to set my goals, and now, before, be like late at night and I'd be like, well, I want a little treat, let me get some cookout. Now it's, that food's not worth the calories, it's not worth weighing more, it's not worth, being heavier, like cut those treats out or switch it for something else. I got protein powder in the background there that tastes pretty good, and it's just reshaping how you look at a problem, reshaping how you see yourself, reshaping how you talk to yourself, and reshaping your reason why, because you're not going to stick to something unless you have a reason why. Like, right now even, I don't have to. Like, I want to edit a video, put it out for tomorrow. I'm a day ahead, and I don't have to do that. And honestly, like, I just kind of want to lay down and take a nap, but I'm going to do that instead. Why? I could take the nap and then do it, but what happens if I don't do it? Or I could just do it now, and I know I'll go to bed later. That's no big deal, right? Same with recording this. I just had an idea, popped in my head. Ooh, I already recorded a video today. I made 2 videos yesterday. They both uploaded. So it's like, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, damn, like, I'm starting to make like 2 videos a day. And I said I wasn't going to talk for 20, 30 minutes, and here we are at 13, minutes and 30 seconds. And it's just crazy because this is so simple but so effective, and I enjoy that I get to share what I like with you, and hopefully you like it too. And if not, hey, like, I don't know why you're here. I mean, I'm glad to have you anyways, but I hope you find what you're looking for, I guess. I get that that's not necessarily going to be me. I used to have a podcast called the Morning Cup of Joe podcast, because I know that, some people don't like coffee, some people like tea, but I'm a cup of coffee, and I'm going to be who I'm going to be, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do regardless of whether or not you like it, because, you don't have to live my life, I have to live my life. And at the end of the day, you're not the one that's paying my bills, you're not the one that's in my bank account, you're not the one that's making my decisions. And so at the end of the day, I got to make sure that I go to sleep and I'm able to actually fall asleep instead of laying awake with regrets and whatever else. And I'm happy to say that, there's not a lot of things that I don't really have anything I'd like to change. There's not really anything I regret. Like, a lot of people live their life, they're like, oh, if only I would have blah, 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 whatever, like made more money or worked more, or not got fired or stayed with that girl. Or, people have their things, but when I look at everything as a culmination of what brought me here today, like, I'm excited every day. I'm happy every day. Now, every day isn't the easiest to get out of bed. Like sometimes I sleep in, sometimes I scroll too much on Instagram, sometimes I waste too much time, sometimes I play too much Pokemon Go, sometimes I just kind of sit around, sometimes I let, like these things happen. But overall, especially now, like there's like 3 aspects of my life that I try to improve: my health, my wealth, my happiness. And so, my health is like the gym, but that's also crossed into my happiness. And if that could make me wealth by making these videos or however else, like that's great. And then YouTube, like making these videos, it makes me happy. And it kind of helps make me healthy, because being in front of the camera, and like now I have less excuses. Like if I'm gaining weight or if I'm eating like shit, I'm gonna have to face this camera. And I think that was what the disconnect was before, is I was talking about what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be. I felt like I wasn't getting there fast enough, and I didn't want to sit in front of the camera because there was that bit of shame that, like, I'm trying to be the best photographer on YouTube. And then, week 2, 4, a month goes by, and I'm not any closer to being the best. Like, there's no way to measure that, and now I'm just trying to train. I'm just trying to get big and strong. I'm trying to lift as much weight as possible and be as competitive as possible. Right now, I compete at the 242-pound weight class, and I want to get down to the 220-pound weight class. And I don't know if I'm going to stay there. I don't know if I'm going to live there. But I would like to do it and just give myself that option to see how it feels and qualify for Raw Nats next year. And then if I don't like 220, guess what? I can weigh however much I need to weigh, compete at 110. The goal is to get down to 220 pounds, compete, absolutely ball out, be strong, look good, get jacked, and then eventually start to build on that and fill out my frame as much as possible so I can be the best powerlifter, across the country. I want to be able to have a 2,000 pound total and more. Like, I want to have over that. Right now, I would say I'm over a 1,600 pound total, so it's within reach. We're 400 pounds away. I can't tell you what my total is exactly. I know that at this moment, within the last couple weeks, I've bench pressed 375 pounds for 6 reps, decently easy. I know that high bar, not even low bar, I'm able to squat 425 for 6 to 8, whatever, something like that. And so being able to do that in a squat that's not even my primary squat, it's kind of crazy. I know that I can get on that bar and deadlift, any number in the 500s. And if I'm peaked, I know I can hit 600 and some change. And so that's where I'm at right now. Now, in order to qualify for Raw Nationals, I'm going to have to build it up to where I'm benching 450, I'm squatting 650, and I'm deadlifting 650 so I can be at a 1,700 pound total. But that comes in time. But that literally, like, right now, my life is a period of, like, what I like about it is I've got my goals, but I've also got a list of things I want to accomplish. I want to make a photo book. Did it. I want to write a book. I could do that if I want. Now I've got the confidence and the know-how. Like making a photo book was scary. That was like, how do we even start? Like, there's all these things that I want to do that when it finally gets time to do it, I'm like, there's no way. Like, yeah, it would be nice to do that, but how does one even do that? And I mean, that was running a marathon for me. That was running Spartan races for me. And I did a full trifecta and then won. I ran a half of the Beast and the Super in, one weekend. Like, I ran the Beast and I got done and I was like, let me go put myself into a position to get this weekend trifecta. Like, the trifecta isn't good enough anymore. And I start off like, man, if I could just get to a 5K race, that would be amazing. And then I'm like, nope, I got to do 21K or whatever it ends up being. And so I've been consistently putting myself in situations to accomplish things that I don't think is possible. And that's what I love about this is, guess what? If I'm doing these things, I used to have to make these like crazy cinematic travel, whatever videos to feel like I was doing anything. And now I can just set up my camera and talk about what's going on. Like, I can be like, hey, I want to go to Raw Nationals next year. But the idea of that makes me nervous. Why? Because I have to get to a certain weight total on my strength level and get to a certain amount of muscle. But I have to lose a certain amount of weight. And I have to go on the platform and put it all together in one day in October in order to make it for next year. Now, I'll have other opportunities if I don't make it in October, but I'm not going to give myself that way out. I'm going to go in October, and I'm going to absolutely ball out, and then that way, all I have to do is make weight for Raw Nationals, right? And that's going to be a check toward being one of the best powerlifters across the country. And I mean, I've been in this for a year now, and it's crazy to see how much progress and how much has happened. And so with that, powerlifting has been such a big part of my life that it's led to me making these videos. There's so many decisions you make that lead you directly to certain decisions in certain circumstances. And so, you know, if you're looking to make YouTube videos, find something you want to talk about. Find something you enjoy. Find something you're passionate about. And guess what? If nobody else likes it, fuck it. Like, don't do it for everybody else. You know? Screw expectations. Screw what people think. Do what you like. And I think there's videos of people out there that record trains and they get millions of views. Why? Because people don't give a shit about the trains, but they love watching somebody so happy about trains. They love watching somebody passionate. Like, there are so many channels that, like, I don't necessarily agree with what they're doing or talking about, but I just love seeing that individual person, you know, like Sam Sulek. Like, I love the gym and I love bodybuilding. I love eating a certain way, but I also love how analytical Sam Sulek is about it. I love the way he's looking at it. I love the way he's approaching it. And it's just like him as a person, right? Now, if you were to take somebody I don't watch and somebody I don't like and put them in that same situation, I wouldn't like the videos as much. Why? Because it comes down to the person. That's brands pay for people. That's why there's so many sponsored ads and everything like that. Is because they're trying to get the person, not the niche, right? The fitness industry does make a ton of money, but you know, when you have friends, you're friends with certain people. You're not like, oh, I'm friends with Mr. Pickleball over here. I'm friends with Mr. Pokemon Go over here. I'm friends with Mr. Powerlifting Gym. No, I'm friends with, you know, whatever the names are. It's a person. And so just keep that in mind. On YouTube, if you're trying to be like somebody else, you're going to lose the most important aspect. You're going to lose the soul of your videos and channel. And then, you know, you might run into the issue where people don't care necessarily about what you're doing, but now they don't care about who you are either because you're not being yourself. Or they might care about what you're doing, but they might get turned off, but because, you know, it's not the authentic, genuine you, which nowadays with ads and everything else that happens, people have a bullshit meter that it's got some detection on it. Anyways, I guess this is the first podcast episode, so I'm already, like, see, I could go in here and be like, I'm already failing, but, I mean, how am I failing something that I want to do, right? How does that make sense? I did what I wanted to do. How's that a failure? How did I fail anything? Like, I wanted to make this podcast episode, right? I just thought that maybe riding in a car for a long road trip or doing cardio or going for walks, mostly the walks because I'm thinking about starting 75 hard back up, phase 2, really get this weight off me and lock in and just really focus on health. But look, I mean, I'll be honest, the lighting situation, I could have taken a little extra time and I could have done something like this so that I have a better lighting situation, or I could have done like this or whatever, right? I could have set this up. I could have put the camera on a tripod. Instead, it's literally sitting on top of a cooler on a piece of cardboard right here, right? I got a flip out screen. I could have filmed on a camera with a lens or a detachable lens, or I could have set up, I didn't even set up the mics. I've got mics right here that I set up for my fitness videos. I'm just talking to a camera. Like, I could have done all these things, but if I would have, I would have been focused on, you know, the things that I would have been focused on anything else but what I wanted to do. So I hope you take this as a reminder, and I hope you benefit and get some sort of value out of this, and have a great day.